How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the rankings for Week 4 of the Elite Battle League Season 3. And of course, I am not alone. I am accompanied by one of the best co-hosts ever, Derek, Always More Videos, who is the legendary coach of the Kentucky Kinglers. Go on and say hello, sir.
How's everybody doing today? Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. We got a good week to talk about. A lot of good matches as we're getting ready to swoop into that Week 5. But a lot of close games here today, and we're going to break down what we can in the rankings for you guys.
For sure, for sure. Of course, what we say here is basically we just call the things out as we see them. So this is not meant to offend anybody. So please don't take any offense. But of course, opinions are always welcome. So definitely share your opinions in the comments below. But I'm ready to get started. Are you?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So number 12 spot, we have Nate, who is the coach of the Walton Wingles, currently at an 0-4 with a negative 26th place in the Mega Division. So I personally don't. I have just a couple of things here to say. I guess it could just be summarized with one point. I do know that Nate does not currently. He doesn't do a lot of competitive play and whatnot. I know that it takes a lot to do competitive play, you know, having to learn the abilities and natures and all of that good stuff. So I think that, you know, that being said, you know, he has, you know, how do I word this? He is doing well. Definitely a lot of room for improvement, but the important part is that he's having fun, and that's all that can be said, really. As far as his battles go, it's evident in his matches that he's having fun, and I absolutely love that. I do have just one little thing that, you know, to point out. If you are gonna, you know, bring the Lapras, you know, for next time, it probably behooves him to have a nice move on the thing. But nevertheless, you know, I know that competitive play takes a lot. So if he learns it for next season, that'll be awesome. I can't wait to see him at a fuller potential. But that's all I have to say on the number 12 spot for Nate. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, you know, this man, you know, we're going to talk about it because he did not get to pick any of his Pokemon. So, you know, he's learning as he goes, getting familiar with these guys. He don't have no experience, like he just said. I love his energy, though, man. I mean, he is having fun. He knew the situation. He wanted to be in the league. And he's here. He's having a good time. This video was very entertaining. If you haven't watched this, man, or even not subbed to him, definitely subscribe. You can check out his content. Dude is hilarious. You know, we talked about the Lapras also going for rain dance and then dipping straight in the Groudon. There's no strategy. He was just clicking around to see what Latin could do. You know, and he don't know none of us either. And, you know, because we know that Latin Luigi is very, very talented at Pokemon and studies very, very hard. He knows everything that needs to be done. He switched a lot. We'll talk about him here in a minute, though. So it actually wasn't a misplay. It was just him thinking, trying to over-predict that, all right, he's going to switch here, and he didn't. He stayed in. So then he had to bail because of the energy ball on the Gengar. So it's definitely going to be a lot better to talk about Nate next season when he has the non-Pokemon that he's used to.
Right.
But right now, you know, he got the short end of the stick, and, you know, there's a good matchup next week between two 0-4 teams. So, you know, we're going to pull for this man, hope he gets it, and that's about all I got left to say about Nate, man. And the Wingles.
I have to say, I know that he had an artist help him with the logo. It's probably one of my favorite logos here in the league so far. Great. I love the logo. I absolutely love the logo. But yeah, that's all that I have to say on the number 12 spot too. So if we're ready, let's go on to number 11. Number 11 is held by Derek himself, coach of the Kentucky Kinglers, currently at a 2-2, 0 for the standings, and he's in 4th place in the Dynamax division. So a couple of things excuse me, a couple of things in regards to Derek's team, mainly not that much, to be honest. He did what I thought he would do with the Palkia. Basically, it's good to have a support mon to bring the rain. You know, if you have a lot of drizzlers and whatnot, you know, that'll help you, especially if you're running that kind of meta. What he did surprise me with is not bringing the Cinderace. He did a good job in bringing the Barraskewda. You know, a lot more firepower with the Barraskewda. Not the tankiest of things, as we know, but definitely very fast, very, very powerful, very threatening. And I do like running Barraskewdas whenever I do battle with viewers, so I know all too well what that thing can do. And it was an issue. But overall, his strategies were sound and whatnot. But that's really what I have to say here on my end. I don't want to say too much on it. Do you have anything you'd like to add on your end?
Yeah, you know, for those of you that watched my matchup knew from the start that when I predicted this to be a weather-on-weather matchup, I was completely wrong. And I made the same mistake that I did against Pidge. I picked 6 Pokemon. I studied 6 Pokemon. They were the only ones I worried about. And that was exactly how I lost in week 1, and this is how the Kinglers fell here in week 4, thinking that the sunny day was going to come to counter the rain. And it didn't happen. But something that I'm going to have to adjust to is life without Cinderace, and today was my first try, because I know you know more than anybody how attached I am to that thing, because I have your Cinderace from season 1 in my PC box right now that I have been using on occasion. But I told everybody in my preseason interview that I wasn't going to do good with the weather team, and it showed here today. There was too many special attackers. You made a plan, it didn't work. What can you do? You move on. I didn't last night, I moved on today. So that's good. But, you know, choosing not to bring Cinderace, he definitely probably would have helped a little bit in this matchup. I don't think the outcome would have been any different. But just it was a terrible, terrible, embarrassing performance by myself. The Miracle, a complete shock. Never seen that coming. We'll touch on that more when we get to your matchup, though. But it dropped Ludicolo like it was hot, son. It was out of there. It was unfortunate, but, you know, we bounced back. We see what we can do. Puts the Kinglers in a tough bind right now where it's a must-win to make the playoffs. So we'll have to see what I can do next week.
I have every full confidence that the Kinglers will pull it off, whether they decide to continue with the bunny and whatnot or not, because it's all on the player, not the mons. And Derek, I think that you come up with the greatest strategies, not for nothing. I really do think you come up with some killer strategies. You've come far from season 1 until now. Trust me. I'm saying it straight up. You are an amazing battler. That's really it that I have to say on number 11. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I want to move on fast. I'm tired of talking about this.
I'm sorry. All right, so moving on to from number 11 to number 10, we got Tara, or EeveeGirl, who is the head coach of the San Diego Sylveons, currently at a 1-3 with a -8, and they are in 4th place in the Mega Division. I don't have a lot to say on this one because the battle was actually fairly decisive on whatnot. She did face off against Landon, who was one of the undefeated teams. More on that later. It was a tragic loss, losing that Steelix as early on as she did, because had she held on to it, it would have put in some major damage. We all know, based on, on his team, and if you guys have studied his team and whatnot, Tapu Koko is fairly good. It's very speedy, and it can hit hard, but there are a lot of counters for it. And it just so happened that Steelix was one of those counters. So had she, held it back a little bit, not send it off as early on as she did. I'm not sure that the outcome would have been so different, but it definitely would have helped her in, with the match a little bit. Not saying that she played badly, because she didn't. She, considering her experience and everyone else's experience as well, Nate's as well, they all played well. Tara played especially well here because she did a great job in taking out the Celesteela. It's just, it was tragic, losing the Steelix early on and then getting the one shot from the Tapu on the Kyogre. Losing such a heavy hitter, it definitely cost her that match. Like I said, I don't have much more to say on this one, so I'll pass it on to Dirk. What do you have to say?
So actually, I was supposed to help Tara with this matchup. We were supposed to train, and our times ended up not lining up for us to do so. So I actually don't know how much training she got. We never talked about it with Stone and Tara. But, her discovering Water Spout on that Kyogre has been a massive, hard-hitting move for San Diego, and I think that now teams are going to start looking at it like, okay, we know this is coming now, but you really can't stop it because it hits so freaking hard. And then I was also impressed with the Chandelore's flamethrower in this matchup. Man, that thing was burning away. It was smacking people left and right. I was doing good damage. But yeah, the switch-ins and stuff is something that maybe could have been avoided. Like I said, I don't know what kind of training took place in this one. And but she did have Landon in Landon's video, guessing a little bit. Okay, she had him on the run for just a short time. So I think that was impressive by San Diego too. But, unfortunately, things started going Landon's way and she picked up another L. But, she's got a tough matchup coming up against Game Reviews this week, who just got his first taste of a loss. So maybe she keeps it going, keeps the win in the Stone Family 64. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
I can see a little bit of frustration was a little bit evident in this battle. Just want to remind everybody that, these are all fun. We all take, it happens to the best of us, myself included.
Way too serious.
Some people.
If you don't think that, just take this video back a couple seconds and watch my reaction about talking about me. We take it a little too far sometimes.
The important part is that we all have fun. We are all friends here and everything. I get it. We're all competitive. I'm competitive myself. It's funny seeing certain people angry and whatnot, but it just remember, have fun and move forward. But that is all that I have to say on number what were we, 10? Number 10? I was gonna say number Tara. Is that all you have to say?
Yeah, let's go to number 9.
Number 9, we got Isomorphic, who is the head coach of the Akron Axies, currently at an 0-4 with a negative 15, 5th place in the Mega Division. I also don't have many notes to say, mainly because this was probably the longest match. I mean, we had 2 matches go to timer, but this one probably felt the longest, simply because it was just a complete stall fest between one Mon here and several Mons here and whatnot. So that's what made it feel long. Not to say that, either battler played badly or anything. It's just, just somehow that's how Mons are. You got a Snorlax hyped up on Curses or Amnesia or whatever, and then you got Hippowdons on Amnesia and Stockpiles. It's just bound to happen. One Mon is not going to take out the other anytime soon. And then it doesn't help that there's a timer in Sword and Shield anyway, so no fault on the players there. But on ISO's part, the only thing that I do have to say, he did play well, for the most part. I would say that probably the thing that could help him the most would be predicting, because there were times where it was obvious Pidge was going to switch out to, switch out the Dialga and bring something else in. Yet he kept going for the Drain Punch, and we get it. We get why, right? And the Urshifu was low on health and needed to get some health back, and fighting type moves are super effective against the Dialga anyway, so it made sense. But at the same time, you got to think a little bit. I know that I'm weak to fighting types, so I'm going to send this guy out. And then you personally, you should be like, okay, so I probably should choose something a little bit more neutral. So that's probably all that I have to say on this one. It's just the predicting, and that could help for the next battles. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, this was a solid matchup, and we'll talk about Pidge here later on. But this is probably Iso's best match too. I know him and Tara went round and round, but this was a good performance by Iso, which is why he's the top, moving up on the list here. Like you said, need to maybe study a little bit more on predictions. We don't know what this. I don't talk to this man a lot, so I don't know if he, is even prepping for these battles, if he's just throwing them together and going into there. He says he don't competitive battle a lot, so man just maybe setting his best 6 up and going into battle. So I don't know. But also that Hippowdon moveset was very, very weird.
Interesting.
I'm not hating, because your team, you do whatever you want, but its moveset, it paid off. It took it to a stall where it could have been, one way or the other. But it was very interesting. And he also did get unfortunate the one time he did hit the fissure. It was on the substitute.
Yeah, that was.
So that would have been a kill and added on to the KD for our dude. And maybe turned it around a little bit. Maybe brought some more Mons in. They could have battled a little bit more. You never know. It's Pokemon. What can you do? But other than that, man, that's about all I got to say about Iso. We was talking about Nate Tube. They fight next week. Both are 0-4. So definitely going to see somebody get a win here. So these boys are going to be fighting hard, hopefully.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that match. I'm rooting for them both. I'm sorry?
I said be match of the week.
That could be match of the week. It'll be good to see one of them get a win. I'm rooting for them both. But that is all we have to say on number 9. If we're ready to move on, let's go on to number 8. Number 8 is held by Gamer Views, who is the head coach of the Detroit Lux Rays. And, excuse me, as Derek has mentioned before, Max has fallen. Took one L with this one against the Atlanta Braviary. Although it was not easy, I'll tell you that right now. This was the other match that went to timer, but both sides put up a great fight. Unfortunate for the Salamence going down by the Starmie right off the bat. We have Blaziken being paralyzed. I gotta tell you, it was risky doing the double protect. Obviously, it didn't pan out, but definitely something that's risky. Another thing that was great that I really liked was the magic bounce on the Espeon. I was gonna say Eevee, Espeon. Paralyzes Starmie right bike. So that's definitely one of the best abilities to have. And it didn't really pay off ultimately, but it definitely checked Starmie a good little bit, because had it not been paralyzed, Starmie could have put in a little bit more work than it did, and it definitely put more work in regardless, because it was one of the reasons why the match went to timer as well. So that's all that I have to say on that part for me. What do you have to add?
Yeah, it's one of the best things about being able to do this is you get to look at people. We watch every battle, we get to break them down and stuff like that, and it's a lot different. And everybody that does this, no matter if it's Pokemon, if you're on YouTube, when that camera comes on, your mind can just float around and you start to not think. And that was a few things that happened with the Lux Rays this week, because when he had the Shuckle out, it had Sturdy, and he went for dual protect. So he could have lived the shot and first went for Stealth Rocks, because the way that they were switching, putting the rocks over on Stone side could have helped him get some more damage off. But he went for the dual protect, and protect landed once, the second time it didn't, and boom, it was took care of.
Yeah.
So, you know, could have went for Stealth Rock, then Protect, and then maybe even tried your dual Protect instead of wasting all these moves and then getting it knocked out. But like I said, that's one of them things where I wasn't there. I wasn't battling. I didn't have my winning streak on the line. So it was probably just a Max going all over the place, a little bit of nerves because he's never beat Stone before. Because he also, and I heard this in his video too, he was like, I don't know what my Quagsire has because he was unaware of the water absorber. So he didn't even know his ability on his Quagsire. He had to go look. So I believe the nerves were definitely hitting the Luxrays this week. The lowest they've ever been on our power rankings list.
Yeah, definitely.
And, hey, breaking news. Offline Nuzlocke just chimed in and said the Salamence switch into Starmie was a big misplay too. I believe we may have missed that in our notes. So yeah, we'll throw that out there. You know, getting that Salamence in there, who has been such a big hard hitter for Max, and for him to lose it like he did, man. And he also had a chance to Dynamax the Salamence too, and he passed on it too. So maybe it would have lived that big Max Hailstorm. Probably not. I don't know. We'll have to run 100 scenarios to see how that goes. But the Brick Break that come through to bust the screen was awesome.
Yeah, just like
I know
Matt
it wasn't
said
planned,
on that one.
but it happened. And also, you touched on the Espeon with Magic Bounce was great. But, you know, getting the paralyzation on the Blaziken, that was just a yikes moment, man, because that thing has been such a key player for Max's team this week. I mean, for this season, excuse me. But overall, man, you know, all this bad stuff, Max was such a good sport in this video. He was very respectful. He had a really good time taking his L. He takes L's better than some people in the league, me. And, you know, the Luxrays are still, they're in the playoffs, man. I think that they take this, they move forward, they know their mistakes now, they know who to call to get help and who to talk to ride this wave out, and, you know, they're championship bound. What else can you say, man?
I think I like what Matt said. I like what Matt said when I think it was the Blaziken that did the break on the reflect. He's like, screw the reflect.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny. Anyway, is that all that you have to say on the number 8 spot?
Yeah, that's all I got
All
on old Maxi Max.
Alrighty, so moving on from number 8, let's go on to number 7. Number 7 is held by the Doorman, who is the head coach of the Texas Tyranitar, currently at a 1-3 with a -6, 6th place in the Dynamax division. I gotta say, first things first, the 2 little intros that he's got for his videos, I love them. I love watching the Pichus. I think they're adorable as hell. And his EBL intro gives me, for some reason, it gives me Sons of Anarchy vibes. So I just love it. I have to comment on it. I think Dare will definitely agree with me where Alan definitely has great energy in his videos. The excitement it's really good to see. You could tell he's having fun, and I think he's getting better and better with every battle that he does. Unfortunately, it didn't end up with the victory with this match. Definitely go ahead and check that out. It's one of the closest matches that we've had this week. But that's all that I really have to. Well, no, actually, I have a little bit more. No, that's really it. I hit all the points here. But main point here is don't sell yourself short. You're doing great with every battle that you're doing, Alan. You're doing great. Just keep going. Keep doing the way you're doing it. Keep thinking, and keep coming up with the strats. And that's really it. That's all I would have to say.
Yeah, you know, this is match of the week between Doorman and Yeltnab, and that's why they're back to back, because it was such a good close battle, and a few things fall Doorman's way, man. He wins this.
That is true.
And so you know, the crit mattered on the Ferrothorn. You know, if it had been higher, maybe we'd have seen a different outcome. The Escavalier, I think I said that right. living on the low HP that it did was
I'm
awesome
surprised.
for the Doorman. I was too. I was very surprised.
I'm surprised.
That thing was stacked up. But you know, there at the end, and I see our friends typing in on this too, but I already had it wrote down here. You know, the Lycanroc, Accelerock would have definitely knocked that flag over. So that was definitely one. He went for close combat. Its defense dropped both sides, and the Ferrothorn was able to come in and clean house. You know, I know a few things to this match too. You know, maybe some excuses coming from Yeltnab's side. We'll talk about him in just a minute though. But looking at that, you know, if he chooses to go for the Accelerock or whatever it's called, and knocks out Flygon, is strong enough to do that. We all know there's three Lycanrocs and a bunch of being used in the league right now. You know, it's a different matchup if you don't go for that close combat. You know, does the Power Whip kill there at the end? Or does, you know, the Fire Fang rule high? We'll never know. We'll probably see this matchup again. I think the Doorman's got an easy matchup next week to get into the playoffs. So we'll just have to see. You know, this was impressive, but that's about all I got to say on this one, bro.
All right, yeah, that's we hit all the points here. Shush, Derek, about you having being an easy match. But that's all that we all have to say here on Doorman. Again, great job, my dude. Like I said, you're doing better with each match. Can't wait to see the rest of your future with the EBL, because you also have a bright one too. But
wait,
moving on.
I got something to add.
Okay.
We're halfway through, so make sure you guys hit that like button. Subscribe to all the coaches down below. Subscribe to both of us. Always more videos. And Guanako Gaming. You definitely don't want to check out what we definitely want to check out what we got going on over there. Also,
mainly him. Check him out.
Oh, thank you. Make sure to check out the roundups that are here on the channel with Infernomen and ItsReallyTimmyB. Subscribe to both of them. And check out the roundup video along with the top fails that features our man Latin Luigi and I believe a newcomer, correct?
Yes, we do have a newcomer, but that will be unannounced for the moment, I guess.
Yeah, so definitely check that out if you want to see who is going to be popping in there. But all kinds of stuff here on the Elite Battle League channel. Make sure you guys check all that out. Subscribe to all the coaches. Their links will be down below. Show all them all the love that they deserve. And along with including our boy Offline Nuzlocke, who has been helping a lot of the coaches, helping this man over here just a little bit more than some. I gotta throw shade. You're both here so I can get it. But check out Offline Nuzlocke. He is a great guy, along with checking out our boy Lonely Hermit, who does the logo designs for most of the coaches. And yeah, I think that's all the plugging out of the way. So I'm ready to move on to number 6 if you are.
Let's go ahead and move on to number 6. Number 6, it is held by Bob Yeltnab, coach of the Indiana Igglybuffs, currently at a 3-1 with a +5, third place in the Mega Division. Listen, Bob, great battler, veteran. I think he probably has more experience in VGC than I do. Based on what Derek has been saying, he says that this man plays or used to do GameStop tournaments and wins. I mean, I used to suck at VGC, so definitely a better battler. Yeltnab's battles here, it was a late battle, so I'm not sure if that would have contributed to the overall battle dominance as we've seen comparing now to the first couple of weeks for the league for this season. Not sure if it was late, if that definitely affected the battle dominance there. Regardless, not surprising that they were able to pull out the win, although it was a close one. Yeah, that the switches, of course, as always, the switches that he does are smart. He knows when to switch in. He knows when to switch out and who to swap back in. But that's pretty much all that I have to say on this battle. Aside from how close it was, go ahead and share with us what you got, my friend.
Yeah, it's so fun to talk about Bob because I know every little detail behind this man's training and all that. And I helped him prep against the Doorman's team. It definitely didn't go how we expected it to. It was a lot closer of a match. It was game of the week, 100%. These two men put it all out there, and it was such a fun battle to watch. If you didn't get a chance to watch any matches yet, start with those two. Both of their perspectives are real good. Bob's getting a little bit more comfortable doing this kind of video. He's very shy, so definitely subscribe if you haven't, guys. He's getting ready to, trying to get him there, getting him more comfortable behind the camera and doing all this. But it was late. Unfortunately, their jobs interfered with this match, which happens. We're non-full-time YouTubers, so it was all avoidable. It was all non-avoidable. I mean, like, we have to work, and that's what happened here. Times got pushed back. So Bob, you could tell it towards the end of the video that he was starting to get he was getting more quiet and not as talkative because he's getting tired. And it happens to everybody. Anybody that works up and works that 8 to 4:30, 8 to 5 every day, you get tired. And I think this led to a few maybe thinking, okay, I've got this, and then when stuff didn't go his way, boom, he started to drop. And I think that happened a lot here with Bob getting the burn during the Dynamax was huge. And then something that we don't see a lot is when guys go to their Dynamax, they don't switch out. You get it one time, and he Dynamaxed, and he knew Urshifu was in trouble, and he got him out of there. He come in and, got some shots in later and died soon after, but he was going to die no matter what. So, Bob making that call right there definitely probably helped this matchup.
Like I said, I think the switches were smart and everything. That was definitely an unexpected move. You have to know when to do it, and Bob it just shows the battle prowess that Bob has, knowing when to do that, and it's a risky play. I'm sorry to cut you off.
But, the haunting of his misplays from last week, there wasn't a lot here. There wasn't not any big misplays that I seen. This man was smart, and did what he needed to do, and he got the dub. So, that's about all I got to say there on old Bobby.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the jobs thing, the battling late happens to the best of us and whatnot. But that is all we got to say on this spot number 6 here. We ready to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Number 5, we have Stone Family 64, aka Matty Ice, who's also the commissioner of the league, coach of the Atlanta Braviary, currently at a 1-3 with a -6, 6th place in the Dynamax division. So he played against Game Reviews, and play of the week so far, Dynamax and Starmie, getting rid of the Salamence. Unfortunate for Max, great play for Matt. Couple of things that he forgot. Apparently, it's something that he kept forgetting. From what I believe he mentioned in his videos, was the magic bounce on the Espeon paralyzing the Starmie, or just paralyzing period because of magic bounce. So definitely something to keep in mind of in the future, not just for Max, because you never know who's going to be able to draft another magic bounce ability mon, but definitely keep an eye out for that moving forward. He mentioned, that I know Matt mentioned, I'm not trying to stall or anything. It's just, I'm trying to click moves and whatnot. I don't want to do this, things like that. I get it. I guess there's a certain sportsmanship type thing going on where you don't want to win by timer or to make it appear by stalling, but I don't think that Mac did that at all. Where he went for the protect, or the I can't remember if it was protect or recover that he did on the Starmie was a recover. It's I don't think the stalling is just something that you have to do regardless, and you're still clicking a move regardless. Remember, it's in the rules, so it doesn't count as stalling. But when he won, he finally got his first victory, and I gotta say the excitement that he had was definitely one that brought a smile to my face. Seeing him happy like that, I loved it. He had fun, I can tell. That's really all that I have to say on this one. What do you have to say?
Yeah, good on Matt for getting this dub. This was the second match of the week. This was such a good battle. And this is what Season 3 of the EBL is, because, you know, KD matters. Now, that's why we bring it up with all their standings, because you have to have a good KD to affect your placement in the playoffs. And that was something that we failed to mention with Max, you know, keeping his Blaziken alive. He didn't want to take another loss on his record, because, you know, him and Bob are neck to neck now because of this loss to Stone. But, man, Stone played great. I know he didn't mean it at the time, but when he U-turned into Kartana, I know that it didn't last long, but it threw Max's plan off of, okay, like, who am I going to go to? And, you know, that took a little bit more time, too. But that was definitely the best switching he could have got there. Unfortunately, crap, I dropped something. Unfortunately, you know, the Kartana got knocked out by T-Bolt. But it was boosted up, it was trained in special attack, and then got the boost from it, so obviously it's going to happen. But he did good there. He got unfortunate with the screen getting broke. They had a dual yawn in this matchup right here. Both players flipped yawn at the same time. I thought was kind of funny. But this was definitely Stone Family 64, well, Matt, I should say Matt, there's all kinds of them in Stone Family. This was Matt's best showing to keep his rivalry with Max alive. Matt and Max, God, I'm getting that. There's a lot there. But
yeah,
it was fun. GG's to both men, but GG's to Matt here for pulling out his first win and moving up here on the list.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have nothing else to say on Matt except GG's on your win again, and I love the excitement. Hope you get. Let's see how the rest of the season plays out for the Braviary. I know that Matt at one point said that no teams were out of the playoffs yet. So we'll have to see who is able to move forward and whatnot. I'm not sure if it's after this week or the next week and whatnot. But I am just about ready to move on to number 4. Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, let's roll.
All right, let's roll. Rolling on. We got Latin Luigi at the number 4 spot, currently at a 3-1 with a +8 second place in the Dynamax division. Not a lot to say here. The battle was also decisive. Attack 2. First blood on the Stoner. I call it Stoner because it's Stunjourner, you know. Anyway. First blood on the Stunjourner with the Leaf Storm, I believe it was, from the Rotom Mow. Predictions were on point, clean switches all around. That's all that I got to say on this one. Like I said, the battle was pretty decisive, and Nate, no offense, while you did play great for somebody with your experience, it was unfortunate, you know, that Latin, who has a little bit more experience, you know, played off. I like the flashy ending, as Latin liked to call it, with Dynamax and the Xerneas and getting rid of the Dragonite. Sucks for the Dragonite, sucks for, you know, me, because I'm the Dragonite, but it is what it is. Congratulations, Latin, on the on another decisive win. Again, that's all that I have to say.
Yeah, you know, if Latin Luigi last week, you know, he gave one up to the Doorman. There was some scheduling issues there as well. Gave the man time to rethink his strategy, and that's the problem with Latin, is he has got too much knowledge, and sometimes that is a curse. But this week it wasn't. He knew exactly what he needed to do. He was switching around, and it was benefiting him every time that he was doing these switches. He knew this team well. He'd studied probably all 9 of the Mons. He knew what all they were going to bring. It was just an impressive showing by Latin. The only reason that he is down on this list is because the MVPs that are getting ready to come up here that we'll talk about in just a minute. But Latin Luigi is just, he should be undefeated. He is not. But I think that's just going to make him more scary because he now knows what to do better. And this dude is going to make a big run when it comes to playoff time. He's in. We got the playoff text there a little bit. He is one of the teams that is up there and ready to go in. So excited to see what Latin Luigi can do with the Gengars going on into the playoffs.
For sure. I can't wait. I think that Luigi fights Landon next week, right?
Yes, that is a great matchup going to happen. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, can't wait to see how that ends up playing out.
One more note too. I'm sorry to cut you off. If I can find it here on Discord, just to top, we have 5 teams that have clinched the playoffs, and that is Infernomen, Guanako, Latin Luigi, Game Reviews, and Yeltnab are all 5 clinched in. So that means there are 3 more spots available that will fall to Stone, PokéPidge, the Doorman, or myself. And there will be, and also if something happens, there may be Tara that would be included too. Don't really know how that's going to play off. But we knew 8 teams would make it and 4 teams wouldn't. It just depends on the divisions. So there's going to be some big matchups coming up here next week, and we're talking about that along with the playoffs.
It's going to be spicy. Alrighty. Like I said, that's all that we have to say on the number 4 spot. Anything else you'd like to add before we move on?
Dude, let's go to number 3.
Number three is Landon Infernoman, head coach of the Iowa Incineroar, with currently at a 4-0 with a plus 13 and first place in the Dynamax division. One of the 2 undefeated teams here in the league so far. Landon's battle, let's see, also another decisive battle, one-shotting the Kyogre with the, what is that thing called? The Tapu Koko. Getting rid of the Steelix, something that benefited him. Great job in taking out those 2 threats. Unfortunate for the Celesteela, but I like the fact that, according to Landon, he said that he was prepared for the fairies because I believe he expected the Sylveon to make an appearance. So he had some type of steel move on other mons. So Landon was prepared. It was another decisive battle. Not much for me to say here, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Derek. Take it away, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much we can say about Landon. He has done impressive this season, which we all knew he would because he learned so much from last season. He corrected all of his mistakes, and he is just flat getting it right now. He got an MVP. Once again, that's why he's up there on the list. The only reason he is at 3 over 2 is we'll talk about that in a minute when we get to Guanako. Spoiler alert, he's number 2. Landon is just battling all over the place, man. He is just taking all these different scenarios and bringing them to the field when he fights, and it is paying off. He is studying well. He knows what to do. There is not much you can say. He takes out the hard hitters from the Sylveons. Never gets rattled. Got a huge flinch on the Rapidash. Was able to knock it out quick. Impressive performance by Iowa Incineroar, and we are definitely excited to see if he keeps that undefeated record or if Latin is as good as I say he is and knocks off Landon this week. This match is going to be great. It's going to be one that everybody needs to watch because that's also going to get them rankings in the playoffs too. If Landon has to win to stay on top to get that first, second, or third, if he loses this one, he may drop down and have to play one of them hard hitters in the first or second spot. So this is going to be, there's a lot riding on this matchup. Landon has got what it takes, and I'm excited to see next week and what he does in the playoffs, bro.
Definitely. Landon has come a long way, and we all said it. Can't wait to see how that match with Latin is going to play out next week. But before I move on to the number 2 spot, of course, there are a couple things, or just one thing that needs to be done. Really just a couple things. You guys got to hit the thumbs up, make it turn blue, subscribe to the Elite Battle League channel so you guys can be notified for more content. Of course, also check out the links in the description to all of the Elite Battle League coaches. Check out the hosts of the weekly roundup, Infernomen, whose links is in the description below as well, and TimmyB. And as well as the power rankings, we have Derek and we have myself, and the top 5 fails, hosted by Latin Luigi as of right now, with a new co-host later on who will reveal at a later date. But moving on to number two. Number 2 is held by Guanako Gaming, head coach of the Miami Dragonites, currently at a 4-0 with the plus 13, first place in a mega division. We'll keep this one short. yeah, we'll keep this one short. I will say that this match was definitely had me the most worried. I think that there are a couple of people. Actually, there are really a handful of people that I consider fearsome rivals, and Derek is definitely one of them. Definitely put some fear in me in the championship battle that we had last season. So that only increased my fear of him. So I did a lot of preparing for this battle in a very short amount of time, having to do a lot of breeding and whatnot, which resulted in some of the sets that you guys saw. That's all that I have to say on this one. Really, like I said, anything that you'd like to say, or just want to move on?
Yeah, the mirror coat on the Blastoise was absolutely huge in this matchup. Something that I don't think, if you gave anybody 10 guesses on what a Blastoise moveset would be, I don't see a mirror coat moveset, and that may just be me and being dumb, but I definitely didn't see it coming. That was awesome. The light screen right at the beginning was perfect. It definitely helped set the first little bit of the battle. There was not any mistakes made here. The only reason that we looked to put Guanako over Landon was because, Landon got some Pokemon knocked out, not by choice. Guanako was letting these guys go down so we could get clean switches in, and it was just an impressive matchup. I know you definitely floored me, bro, with a great performance. So he's got one more game to get that 5-0. May have a bunch of 5-0 teams coming up here, so that is definitely exciting. And excited to see what you do in the playoffs, my dude.
I appreciate that.
Got a tough matchup this week, though.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I believe it. I'm going up against somebody who is a complete veteran. Probably, like I said, probably has more experience than I do in BGC. A couple things that I did forget to mention. I did have help from our friend Offline Nuzlocke. He recommended a special Darmanitan. I definitely did not consider that at all, considering the abysmal special attack stat of that little monkey. But in the end, there's a reason Offline is, the way he is. There's a reason, he has his track record in battles, and track record trumps everything. And so he had to put me in my place and said, no, this is how this thing works. I'm gonna show you. And I'm like, all right, bro. I'm just gonna run it. I'm just gonna run it, see how it goes, and definitely exceeded my expectations on that. So shouts out to Offline. Shouts out to everybody for all the hard work and whatnot. Let's move on to number one if we're ready. Yeah, guys, we're all kind of all over the place. We've been sitting here for a long time. Just give y'all behind the scenes. We started about 7:30, and it's midnight.
It's
now.
midnight. So if we're kind of spacing a little bit, not really knowing, just enjoy it. Just sit back and enjoy it. Hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell. We love you.
Before I move on to number one, I do want to say one last little thing here, of course, and I know that Offline agrees with me. Shouts out to Derek for being an amazing dude throughout the whole thing. I know that, things, the battle didn't go as well, and I know that, being a competitive person, it definitely can anger or upset people. I'm that way myself. I displayed that when I had my loss against Crobats in Season 1. But, again, shouts out to Derek. My dude, you're amazing. That's all.
Now, I was a good sport on camera. I was. And I was a good sport in our DMs afterwards. But behind all that, I was pissed off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But, it was a lot of just, I don't even know what to say. It's over now. We're good. But I was upset with this man last night. Nothing against what he did. He played great. I was just really upset myself because I know that I know how to do this. and you get used to winning so much, and then you take a gamble on a Drizzle team, and you know everybody said it too. Can I battle without the bunny? We already talked about all that. We got to figure that out moving forward. But yeah, I appreciate you saying I'm good sport, man. It was definitely fun, and we all good now.
We love you, dude. We love you.
Love you, my dude. Love you too, my dude.
Moving on to number one. Moving on to number one, we got PokéPidge with a 2-2. Oh, I should probably say what he's coaching, right? PokéPidge, head coach of the Essex Espions, currently at a 2-2 with a +3. Third in the Mega Division. They're in the Mega Division, right? Or Dynamax? I think it's Mega.
One or the other.
One of those. I'm so
he's in
sorry,
mine,
Pidge.
he's above me, I know that.
Okay, so he's definitely in the Dynamax division. I got that wrong here. Yeah, so Pidge, Dynamax division, 3rd place. There we go, 3rd place. Number one in the rankings this week, so congratulations for not losing a single Pokemon. Definitely in the what felt like the longest battle. Again, no fault to you or ISO. But your switches were methodical, your plays were methodical. Again, it's not easy to not lose. It's not a single soul was lost. It's not easy to achieve that in a match. I think the last time that happened was last season, right? Last season was the last time where
we had a sweep this season, didn't we?
Did we have a 6-0? Yeah, I think we did. It was Landon. Yeah. But yeah, I apologize. I stand corrected. But definitely props to you for the switches. You saving the Dialga against the Urshifu was big. And just congratulations on number one on the rankings, my dude. Anything you'd like to add?
Man, PokéPidge, the coach of the Espions, dude, he is so entertaining in this video. This dude's such a good sport. I love watching all of his matchups. I love watching his content in general. But like you said, him switching around a lot was paying off. Yeah, we got in a little bit of a stall match, but it's hard to say stall because then people's like, oh, do we have to check into the rules? They were clicking buttons. They were playing. You just had two Titans hitting each other. That's all you had.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, so it couldn't be helped, and it helped. ISO keep some of his guys alive to bump up his KD a little bit, and it helped out great with Pidge to move up here in the rankings and to push up his KD over the Kinglers in the standings. So Pidge done extremely well here. He was checking his stats. He knew what to do. He knew what was coming. This man played great. Adding that substitute out for that fissure was huge. Kept his Mon alive. There was really no mistakes really made by our boy PokéPidge. He just come through here and was hitting hard and waiting for stuff to fall his way, and he did a great job, and he deserves the number one spot, not losing nobody. So congratulations to PokéPidge and the coach of the Espions.
Alrighty, so everybody, congratulations on basically really an epic week. The battles were insane this week. Definitely people who we didn't expect jumped up. Those who we didn't expect also went down. But on the side, of course, you'll also see the rankings here. Again, more importantly, check out all the EeveeGirl coaches, and the links are going to be in the description below. Also, again, reminder, thumbs up on the video, hit subscribe, it's free, I promise, so you guys can be notified when the weekly roundup, top 5 fails, and the power rankings all come out on the EeveeGirl channel. I'm your host, Guanako, Derek, co-host, and we will see you guys for week 5 of season 3. Later.
Peace.